this is a special live I decided to do after publishing the second book. I had so many inquiries about publication process. How did I do it? How did I write it? How did I complete it? You know, questions about, you know, the time frame, how it was done, who did I use, and all of that. And so instead of trying to respond to everybody individually, I thought I can just do a live. So I'm going live just to talk to everyone, to get some of this information out. It's going to be a lot of information. So if you've been watching my previous posts, I have been encouraging you to bring pen and bring paper. It's going to be a lot of information released today. A lot of information released today. So I'll give you a few minutes to get some pen, get some paper. This will be rebroadcast on my YouTube channel, Jacqueline the Author. So you have to search Jacqueline the Author. You can't search my name. For some reason you search my name and it's like 1001 Jacqueline Dies. So you have to search Jacqueline the Author and then look for this logo. That's it on Facebook. That's it. I don't know how to block it. Can you see it? It's just my initials in purple. So you want to search for that on Instagram and on YouTube, Jacqueline the Author, and we'll repost this video with all of the information. Some of the links will be connected to connect to the people that I mentioned, just so you'll have the information later on down the road. So by this time, hopefully you have your paper. We'll get started. I wanted to first talk about the writing process. I know a lot of times people just get stuck there. And so wanted to talk about how to get past that. And it's easy and hard at the same time. So what I had to do, I got stuck a couple times with the second book. And I had to put myself on a schedule. So I set a time of day that I was going to write. And that was like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was real early. I had to do it before the house woke up. So I did that. That was the set time. And then I set a set amount that I wanted to write. So I wanted to get through at least one chapter during that time period. So for some people it might be a paragraph, or some it might be a page. But just set a time of day, a specific time of day, and a specific amount that you want to get done. And that's kind of how I pushed myself through the rest of the process. It was by doing that. So those are just my 2 tips for, oh, I forgot to preface this video. Let me preface this video by saying I by no means am saying that I know everything about publishing a book, everything about writing a book. I know my experiences and I'm sharing them with you. So I don't want everybody, you know, getting in my comments saying, you can do this, you should have done that, you should have said this. Thank you for sharing. I am sharing my experiences. Amen. And so, with that said, from my experience, it was easy to set a time, specifically in the day that I was going to designate toward writing, and then set an amount that I wanted to accomplish that day. Just those 2 goals kind of helped me press my way through. And then if you find yourself being, and forgive me if I'm looking at the wrong camera, it's like 3 of them. If you find yourself being blocked or having a hard time progressing, maybe you need to pray about it and see about reformatting it or restructuring the book. I know with the second book, I had a format already set on how I wanted to be, how I wanted to be structured, how I wanted to present it, and it ended up coming out completely different. So sometimes we have to kind of like take a step back, listen, and be led on exactly what we're trying to present and make sure it's the format that it should be. And if we are stagnant or hindered, then it could be that you might have to restructure it or reformat it a little bit. to suit what you're trying to do. So those are the only tips I have about writing. Other than that, you just want to be dedicated. Think about the end result of the thing, and that'll kind of like press you through on how to get it done. Then let's talk a little bit about the publication process. With both books, I use different publications. So for the first book, I self-published this book. I did that back in 2016. This one was self-published, and I used an outlet called Create Space. Shout out to Nikki Winston. She told me about this, and it was amazing. So basically, there is a you upload it to a website, I'm supposing, and you put it through the so format thing. You put it through it, and then it kind of tells you, it outlines the book for you, so you can see where the pages fall, where the chapters fall, make sure nothing's cut off. So you basically are creating the book yourself. Since then, they've changed their names, and now it's called Kindle Direct Publishing. So if you're looking at self-publish, you can use that. There is no fee, or at that time, there was no fee to publish. But it is an Amazon company. So Kindle Direct Publishing is through Amazon, or CreateSpace when I use it. It's through Amazon. So you can upload everything. You upload your cover. You upload the manuscript. You upload everything to the website. They create the book for you. They print and distribute for you. And they just charge you, or they don't even charge you. They take their fee out of the printing of the book. So say, for instance, I'm trying not to confuse you. This book I sell for $7.99. Kindle Direct Publishing charges me $2.15 to print and distribute it. So that leaves me with roughly $5 or so of a royalty after they take their fees away. So that's the self-publishing. That's the way that I went with this book. And then to me, that's awesome. I really love that process of being able to do it by myself, because I'm the type of person, I don't like waiting on other people. I'm sorry, he keeps telling me I need to reserve. I'm not the type of person to have to wait on other people to do stuff for me. I'd rather get it done. And so with that, I love that process. I love the fact that the royalties are so high. The distribution, printing and distribution is so cheap, and by it being through Amazon, the shipping is not a long time. So I can order a bulk of books and get them in a week or two, versus the publication company we'll talk about later on. To do the ebook for this book, I did it through Book Baby. That's the name of the company. It's called Book Baby. This book, the ebook was done through Book Baby, and they have printing where you can have them print your books and all of that. I didn't use them for that. I don't really know a lot about it, but if you want to kind of go through the website, you can. But I did use them for the ebook. So basically, I sent them over the manuscript and they transformed it into an ebook, and so they are the ones that distribute the ebook. This is all what I did with the first book for self-publishing. Always remember, once the book is out there, you want to copyright it. And so, again, shout out to Nikki Winston about the copyright procedure. You want to go to copyright.gov. Don't use any other company outside of copyright.gov, because you want to use the official government website to get your book or artwork or create whatever copywritten. Here's a rule too, just on that copywritten front. This book has a foreword by by David S. Winston. Did a foreword for this book. You have to include that in the copyright, or they will not copyright the book, because it's like you're using someone else's work and not giving them the credit for it. So I had to make sure that I had it in there that someone else did some work in the book because they actually kicked it back. The first time I put it through, they kicked it back because his name was on the forward and I didn't give him credit for that. So make sure if you have someone who does a forward or introduction or something for you, make sure you put that in the copyright so that they can approve it and you don't get it kicked back, because it's not cheap to have to repay for that. I failed to mention at the beginning of this video, if you have any questions, I know I'm going fast and I'm giving a lot of information, so if you have any questions, just put them in the comments and we'll pull them and we'll answer them at the end. Okay, so make sure, so Kindle Direct Publishing is who I used for the first book for self-publishing. Book Baby I used for the ebook. Make sure you go to copyright.gov to get everything copywritten. Then you need to have people there to help you. So this artwork and this design, this was done by my graphic designer, shombripittman. The name of her design company is Sips Designs. A lot of information, that's why I told you to get a pen. Sips, S-I-P-S Designs. So she does all of my work. She's done my logo. She's done this cover. She did the cover for the second book. She does all of my graphics. So that's who I used for that. The editor for the first book was Kiara J. Northington. You have to find her on Facebook. She has a website, but I can't seem to find it. But again, all of that will be in the YouTube. Once this is done, we'll upload it to YouTube with all of those connections. But her name is Kiara J. Northington. Northington. She's the person that edited the first book, and she does it by page number. I believe it was like a full copy. A copy editing was something $2-3 per page or something like that. So just go ahead and try to reach out to her and see what she'll do for you. That's the person that I used. Again, let me just say I am sharing my experiences on publishing and on writing and publishing a book. The next thing is to get connected with other people. There are plenty. In writing the first book, I came across so many people that were graphic designers, that were editors, that were some people, smaller publication companies, other writers. You want to use these resources, get connected with people, and they'll share, their experiences, their resources. Some of them you have to pay for. Some of them they'll just share with you. So try to get connected on social media, Facebook, Instagram, with other people that are doing what you're doing, so that you can have additional resources. You never can have more than one person to reach out to. So that's important to have as well. And so that was everything with the self-publishing. Of course, there's some things that I did with the first one. I did a press kit. Well, she did a press kit for me. That's all in marketing. We'll get to that in a little bit later. So that was all of the self-publishing. For the second book, let me get this thing out here. This second book, can y'all see down here, Facebook land? Second book. I did this through an actual publisher. See how thick that is? Didn't want to self-publish that. So I went through a larger publication company. Not gonna name any names. However, I used a larger publication company for several reasons. For one, the book was too much material, too much content for me to do myself. If you want to do it, if you have a larger manuscript and you want to do it yourself, go right ahead. This was too much for me. Because even the first book was only about 20-something pages, and, that took me for a whirlwind. And it was my first time doing it, so I possibly could have done it, if I would have practiced. But I chose to opt out of that and let someone else do the work. So I thought. So I found a publishing company online, and sent in the manuscript, and they had to go over it and approve it. And once they approved it saying that they would publish it, then I had to set up a payment plan. Now, the publishing company charged roughly $3,900 something, about $4,000. What they were offering was professional editing, graphic design, promotion materials, print and distribution, and basically everything that I would need to sell the book, to create the book and sell the book. So all I had to do was give them the manuscript, and they'll give me a finished product. A lot of publishing companies, I've found that a lot of the larger publishing companies, this is how they operate. You send them a manuscript, and then you pay them to put it together. The issue that I found with this particular publishing company and another one that I know that a friend used is that they tell you that you get 95% of your profits back. Like, they only keep 5% and you keep 95%. But what they fail to tell you is you get 95% after everyone else gets their cut or whatever. So in order to get it distributed, the Ingram and all of those people, the bookstores or the book outlets, the people that are going to sell it, have to get it at a discounted rate in order for them to sell it. So if this book sells for $24.95, I have to offer the book retailers 55% off of the $24.95 in order for that to be intriguing for them to put it on their shelves or whatever. So now I'm down $12 and something. And then it cost my publishing company about $7 to publish it. So when they finish subtracting all of these fees, I'm down to about $4 per book that I make on a $24 book. This was surprising to me, and I had another friend who just published, and she found out after the fact the same thing, that when they come to you, with this offer of only taking 5% and they take 95%, they fail to tell you that there are other people hands in the cookie jar as well. And so just be wary of that. Just be aware of that when you're talking to these companies. So don't be fooled pretty much about that. Another thing about it with the larger publishing company is and this is my experience, I don't care how much they tell you, they have professional editors editing your book. Get your own editor. Because I went through 7 rounds of edits with this book, and there were still mistakes once it was printed. So if you could, I admonish you, get your own editor by any means. And even if they say, oh, we'll handle it, get your own editor, because you want to make sure that it is as perfect as possible when you get it back. So they print, they distribute. For me to get copies from them, I can only get my copies of my book from them, and it costs me $12 and something, so I pay half. So the book is $24.95. I pay them half to get copies to sell on my own. So that's with the larger publishing companies. Another issue I had was the time frame. A lot of things move too slow for me, and it could just be me. I'm always moving, and a lot of things moved extremely slow. Like now, the book is finished. The book is out to be distributed. You can find it on Amazon.com. You can find it on my website. I have some copies here. They offer you a video, a promotional video that you can use, post on your YouTube channel and your social media. You probably have seen mine, which is wonderful. However, I feel like it's not a priority over the ebook. I've had many people ask me for an ebook, and it's not ready yet because they're still working on it. So that's another thing you have to take into consideration too. I'm not sure if other publishing companies prioritize it that way, but this one does. So the video comes first and then the ebook. So we're still waiting on the ebook. That's one of the issues that I had. And then another one is they don't copyright for you. So they'll print, they'll distribute, they'll market, they won't copyright for you. So in that, you have to make sure you know that so you can budget for that. To copy this, to do the copyright on the second book, it was $75. $65. Take it back. $65. So you want to make sure that you are taking care of that yourself as well. So again, the big publishers have benefits. They will market for you, which is one of the things it's the number one reason why I went to a big publisher, is because I wanted them to market. I didn't want to have to do the marketing because I knew that this book had needed to reach a wider audience possibly than the first book, and I wanted to have that marketing power. So that's why I chose the bigger publishing company this go around. And then I also wanted to not have to publish that manuscript as thick as it was. So again, I told you that they charged about $4,000 to round it off. They did do payment plans, so it was, I think, like $295 a month for however many months that added up to be 10 months, I believe. And then it was done. And so the thing is, after that, they're continuing to market and continuing to push the book after that. And their thing is they won't take royalties on the book until I have made back my $4,000 in royalties. And apparently the royalties is only supposed to be 5 cents per book. That's what they said. So that is it for the big publishers. There's pros and cons to it. So you just have to decide if that's what you want to do. If you decide to go with a big publisher, please get your own editor and be prepared to have some patience, and be prepared to have most of your royalties or most of the costs taken away. So that's that. So that's the difference between self-publishing and big publishers. Marketing. So you have to have some marketing when you are selling a book. My advice is to have a website to market, to sell your products on, or even just to market it. And if you don't want to ship them yourself, then you can use the website and link it to Amazon, just so they'll have a way to do it. My website has both books. It has blogs that I've created that coincide with the books. There's more information on other things that I do, coaching and mentoring and prayer classes. All of that is on there. So I'm marketing not only the books, but I'm marketing myself as well. So that's a way of marketing. Is definitely, if you can get a website, I think it's the most professional thing you can do, is have a place to send people when they're asking about your product or your services. So you want to get a website. Websites are dirt cheap. I created mine through Wix.com, and I don't think we pay more than $14 a month for it. And I like using that because you can create it yourself. You can manipulate the website however you want. So you can change it around, add pictures, take pictures down. The good thing about it is, just back a couple of days ago, we did a Black Friday sale. I was able to go into the website, change the prices on the books, and set up links to send people to in order to get it at the discount price. So it's good to have a website that you can manipulate yourself versus having someone have to manipulate it for you. So you want to get a website when you're marketing. Use social media. Social media platforms is the best way to market. If you have a professional page, my author page is a professional page. I think you're there, author page. And so you can promote, you can run ads through that page, you can run promotions through that page, and make sure it's separate from your personal page. So here on my personal page, I'm streaming live to it as well, but I like to have a separate page where it's all about the books, all about the author stuff, so people have a place to go. So try to create a separate social media page if possible. Instagram is just a public author page, but try to create a separate Facebook page if possible. Two things that I did not know about with the first book that I learned through my publication specialist on this book is to set up an Amazon author page that you can advertise your books. You can have people to follow you. Then you can go there and monitor your sales. I didn't know about that in the first one, so you can monitor your sales through Amazon, through the Amazon author page, as well as your reviews and all of that. And then to set up an account on Goodreads. I didn't know about that either. So that's another marketing tool you can use. Amazon author page and Goodreads. You need branding. Branding is so important. Again, I have my logo that was created, and then I just started branding it. So this is an excellent marketing tool. I had some masks created or made up. Some masks made up with my logo on it, and it's an excellent marketing tool because when I'm out, people's like, oh, what is that on your, and then I can explain to my logo, I can explain that I'm a speaker, I'm a writer, and then I can lead them to the website, lead them to the Facebook to purchase, lead them to Amazon to purchase. So it's a good marketing tool to have. So you want to brand yourself, get yourself a logo that you can use on your posts. You can use it like on a mask, just have it out. I have some pins that I created with my logo, a notepad, anything to brand yourself so people can get familiar with that that logo or that brand. Press kits are a good form of marketing. With my first book, Shombri created a press kit about the book, which is just kind of like not an outline, but it shows the book. It takes some of the topics out of the book, and it's just like a big colorful news ad, so to say, that you can send to. When I had the first book, I sent it to radio stations, newspapers, all of that, to get them to post articles or to have interviews about the book. So that's a press kit. With the second book, the marketing company or the publication company will create it and send it out. I think that's part of my contract. That's what they're supposed to do. So you want to make sure you have press kits. As far as paying for the goods, I prefer Square. If you go to square.com, you can set up a Square account, and you can get the little readers where you can use to pay. You can send invoices out. Links, they give you links, QR codes where people can go to pay for your services if you are mailing books out versus having people go to Amazon. Square is a good company to use, and you can use PayPal as well. I use both. I have links on both. Some people would prefer to go to PayPal because they're not familiar with Square. And that's fine. Some people prefer Square because it's easier and you can do Apple Pay and Google Pay on it. So I just send whichever one is easier for your customers, that's what you can use. So I have both PayPal and Square. And yeah, that's it for marketing. Again, if you are looking for a graphic designer, Sips Designs is who I use. Shombripittman, she is on Facebook, and you should be able to find her by either name. And that's the marketing aspect. And then there are some smaller publishers out there, smaller publication companies. I did not use them. I think with the third book that I'm outlining right now, I'm going to self-publish again. I prefer that over using a publication company. So this probably will be the last time I use a publication company. I plan on self-publishing the third book. But there are some smaller publication companies that may not cost as much and may not take as many royalties. You just have to Google those and find out what they are. I'm not familiar with those, but I know they're out there. I did run across some in my search for a smaller company. So again, if you have any questions, I think that's it. It's all information I have. I know I was going fast. Again, there will be a recap. This video will be available on my author page, on the personal page, and I think it saves to Instagram. I'm not too familiar with Instagram, but it will be available. So you can always go back to it, but there will be an edited version on the YouTube channel. So again, search JacquelineDye.com and just look for this logo, the purple J dye, just lights. There you go. Got it. And look for that, and it'll be uploaded within a week. I guess we're going to do some edits. We're going to try to get some all of the points that I talked about up on there, so you can have more detailed information. And if you have any more questions, you can always go to JacquelineDye.com and send an inquiry, and I'll get back to you. Or you can direct message me or on the author page, the author Facebook page. I don't respond to direct messages on my personal page, so don't go there and leave a personal message, because I'm not going to respond. I don't. But if you have questions, or you want more information, or you need some additional assistance, you can go to JacquelineDye.com and you can submit your request there, or you can go to the personal Jacqueline the Author Facebook page, and I'll be happy to help you and to elaborate on all of this information. So I hope this was helpful to someone. It is a process. It's not an easy process, but it's worth it. And if you know that this is what you're called to do, it's worth going through it. So I am here to help, and hopefully this helped you. And reach out if you need any additional help. Okay, love you. Bye.